for inspirational, thought-provoking, life-changing discussions on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on Fishbowl Radio Network and streaming across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See you on Wednesdays. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Nick. What's up, Pat?
What to do? What's going on?
What's up, Tay, on the ones and twos? Anyways, so it's Hot Topic July, y'all, because it's hot as Hades outside. And y'all be texting me about a bunch of stuff. So I figured this month we'll just get into what y'all been texting me about. So I hope everybody had a good week. Hope all is well going today. But I'm gonna check in with my Pat. What's up?
What's up, Nick? What it do like? I mean, how the week been going for you?
Look, no complaints. Busy, but no complaints.
Man, busy is an understatement.
I know. Never a dull moment, right?
For real. Like, it's crazy.
So tonight's topic, y'all, is true submission. And we're gonna start with this video. And I already know people gonna be hating my perspective on submission, but I really don't care because it is what it is. We all have an opinion. But we gonna talk about this video, and Pat already understands why I chose this video to open up a nice discussion.
Let's do it.
So here we go. And of course, I have no volume.
Oh, to a meal.
Here we go.
Marcus is really irritating me. Tell me why this dude gonna get home talking about something. You've been at home all day and I can't at least come home to a meal. Ma, I'm not gonna be doing no wife stuff for no boyfriend. That's so stupid to me.
What you mean about be doing wife stuff for a boyfriend?
I'm not doing that, Ma. Like if he wants that, he gonna have to marry me. I don't have to cook for a man that ain't my husband.
Why is it y'all women wait till y'all have kids with all these different baby daddies that didn't want to have standards when the next man comes? Did you have them same standards for your baby daddies?
Excuse me, Mama. It's called growth. I learned from the mistakes. I'm not gonna do that with another man and end up just.
Girl, no, that's not how that works. Growth is one thing. You do learn from your past mistakes, but you're being foolish right now. You want a man to act like a husband, but you don't want to act like a wife for the man that you want to act like your husband.
What do you mean? I'm not asking him for husband stuff. What do I ask him for that's have husband stuff, Ma?
You want him to provide and protect for you and your children, right?
Yeah, that's what a man's supposed to do.
And you want him to be a father to 3 kids that's not even his kids.
Again, something a man is supposed to do. I have to make sure that he's gonna be qualified to be my husband. So he has to do those things.
Chanel, that is things that a husband would do. Just like you won't do certain things because you won't do it till you're a wife. That man don't have to take care of you or them kids until he become your husband.
Mama, yes, he do that. That is called being a man. Like, what is wrong with you?
No, that is called you entitled and want too much and not giving enough.
Oh my
You
God.
should have had those same standards when you was having them babies with them other men.
Oh.
And then maybe you would be married by now.
Excuse me?
You heard what I said. Girl, let me go find my movie because you worked my nerves.
Ma, Marcus is really irritating.
Oh, so I wanted to share that video to start this conversation. Why are you looking at me like that, Pat?
Oh, they want a cracker.
So when we talk about submission, I know that that's like a dirty word in relationships. I know that people don't understand what submission really is. I know that there are a lot of varying opinions on what submission is, when people are supposed to submit in a relationship, what submission really looks like. And I just wanted to start with that video to show you that's not submission, that's not respect, that's not valuing your partner, that's just selfishness, entitlement, pure and simple. But it gets to the heart of what it means to submit in a relationship. Pat, you want to speak for a minute?
Let me listen. Anybody that watched that video or heard what she said, I have to be clear that he can provide, protect, priest before I will commit to him in marriage. But what he wants from me, it has to be on a contingency plan. It's not that he has a right. And I know that you had put that out there, but we're going to have to, I'm going to throw this word in there. Society, Facebook, Instagram, single mothers, bitter people have given women audacity that they don't even have. The mother was very clear. Mama was like, you got 3 babies by 3 men, and you didn't put that standard on none of them. But somebody that is willing to come in and take your mess, and I don't care what nobody say, that's a mess, and to deal with it, take it on, support it, sustain it, facilitate it. Now he has to walk by a certain criteria to come in. And notice mama didn't say he came in with 3 baby mamas. You got 3 baby daddies. And he's here taking care of you, but it is the audacity that they get to have because they get to demand what they can't even facilitate in their own lives.
Ooh.
They get to demand he gotta be 6. But here's the thing. Remember, you and I talked about this once before, that I believe, and we'll have to get into this a different day in depth, but I believe that men actually love unconditionally, whereas women have unconditional tolerance.
Mm.
And so the thing is that a man can go through a drive-through and see a pretty woman working on fries and will try to holler. But if a woman go through the drive-through and a dude that's working on fries try to holler at her, she would look at him and say, "No, you didn't." Now, take that same woman that said, "No, you didn't," and ask her where she works. She will tell you at Family Dollar. That's audacity. That she works at a store that only pays her $8 an hour, that only have 2 people working in the store at the same time, but she gets to have the audacity of a person that is in the same station of life that she is. How dare you talk to me? But they're on the same level, but he's beneath her simply because of the fact she's a woman.
I just, for me, it's, and hey, Miss Tam, for me, it's the total disregard of the other person.
Yeah.
It is.
And she completely she completely did that.
Yeah, disregarded him because all he asked for was a meal. And I'm sorry, but when you're in the dating relationship, typically you actually eat with one another, either at your house, my house, or we go out to eat. I don't understand why cooking a meal is elevated to wifely duties, because you got 3 kids at home, you got yourself at home, you was cooking anyway. So I don't even understand why it's the issue of preparing him a meal. And going back to what the mom was saying, you didn't have these expectations with your baby daddies. She didn't say 3 baby daddies. She just said with your baby daddies, which means it's more than one baby daddy. Were you cooking and cleaning for them? Were you doing?
I'm gonna tell you what she was doing with them. He was showing up with Taco Bell and taking her through there.
I think we need to understand when we're in these relationships, what being in a relationship is all about. It's about mutual respect. It's about trusting one another. It's about cooperating over competition. It's about sacrificing for each other and what you want to accomplish as a couple. It's about love. It's about kindness. It's about reciprocity. Nothing in her conversation was reciprocal. Nothing in her conversation talked about what she bringing to the table other than drama, expectations, and multiple baby daddies and 3 kids. Where is the logic? Where is the consideration? Where is the kindness? Where is the reciprocity? If he holding it down for you, because it sounds like that's what it is, he holding it down, you can't cook a meal?
Let's do this before we dive into this tonight. I want to do this. I want to give you the Hebrew definition
Okay.
of submission. Submission comes from two words, which is hupo, which means under, tazio, which means authority. One of the greatest challenges, and I gave this to, and you I know you read it because you hearted it when I put it out, about the acronyms for shut up. Shut up means surrendering her uncontrolled tongue under pressure. And taking words that we would choose like it's offensively, but understanding that if you really are saying, now this is to the women. Now, if this ain't for you, this ain't for you. I'm talking to the women that really wants to be in a real relationship where a man is priest, protector, and provider. No man is going to be priest and protector and provider of something that he cannot control. Now, I'm going to take, because I know when you say the word control, that doesn't mean that you are his slave. That's not what that means. Control means under his grasp. The word husband, H-U-S, means house. Band means to hold together. If what Nick just said is received in the heart of women, then what it's saying is he provides the house, you make it a home. He provides the food, you make it a meal. So that is where the ebb and flow or the symbiotic relationship comes in. And I'm going to say this to every man that is a giver. You better have limits, because takers don't. And when I was talking to someone the other day, and they was talking about, we were talking about the conversation as it relates to, what you call that thing? The attributes of a virtuous woman. And what they were talking about when we talk about this very subject, and they was very clear about what the man was supposed to do, what his roles were, what even God said. And God said that the man and the husband love your wife and give it, got it up. And they went down the whole list. And when I took them to the 26 attributes of a virtuous woman, baby, when I tell you, it got quiet in that conversation, because people very seldom understand what is required of them. And what is the saddest reality is that in that conversation with the person that I gave her 26 attributes, when the couple started out, the conversation was, she asked him, I asked him, did he miss me? He responded and said, did you give me something to miss? And she was offended.
Ooh. Wow.
So you didn't set him, you gave him nothing that would make you stand, nothing. You did nothing that would keep you on his mind. You said nothing, you gave nothing, you did nothing, but you walking around, but you want to be the center focus of his mind thought all day long, and you want him to see your face in the clouds as he's going down Highway 6, and you want you to see your name on the billboard, and every song on the radio is supposed to remind him of you. But here is the question, Nick, and I drop it in your lap. What would you say about a person who goes to an ATM machine, sticks their debit card in the slot, types in their 4-digit PIN code and try to withdraw something that they didn't deposit?
Dumb, because you already know you didn't have it. Misguided. I'm just saying.
And if you don't deposit anything in your love bank with your partner, and then you trying to go get a withdrawal on what? Because in the words of Bishop Billy Preston said, nothing from nothing, leave nothing.
But again, I'm gonna go back to when we are in relationships, it's not about being selfish. And everything about that video screams to me, you have a partner that is selfish. You have a partner who is not thinking about the big picture. You have a partner that is only thinking about her needs. Because at the end of the day, when you're in relationship, it's not about you, it's about us. It's about you in the respect that you should know who you are, you should have your stuff together, you should know what your values are, you should know your worth, and that's what you're bringing to the table of the relationship. But when you decide that you are in a relationship with somebody, and y'all are at the point where you're providing for each other, you're providing for kids, you're providing for parents, you're providing for each other. And when I say each other, I mean the whole package. To me, that's a different conversation, because you should be on a different path. And if you're not on that different path, and when I say a different path, I believe there is a difference between I'm out here in these dating streets and I'm dating someone versus I'm out here in these dating streets and we're intentional about each other and have had the conversation of where this is going. We're courting and then we're ending up at marriage. That's a whole different conversation. And so the reason I wanted to talk about submission and what real submission is and what true submission is because I think we get it confused out here in these dating streets that your partner is supposed to be submissive to you from the jump. And what I am going to say is that is something that is developed and earned as you go deeper in your relationship and where the relationship is going. I believe that submission comes when you're in the courting phase and you are very intentional about what this relationship is accomplishing. I do not believe that a person that's just out here in these dating streets, just dating just to be dating, has the same responsibilities and expectations as somebody who is dating with intention and courting. That's just my humble opinion. And I think the narrative changes when you decide as a person, what is it that you're doing in this relationship?
Well, it's simple understanding is if he that findeth the wife findeth a good thing, then does that mean that she is operating, functioning, living, being, breathing, respecting, giving on the level of a wife when she's found?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Just makes sense to me.
I believe so, because I believe you bring to the table the energy that you want. When we were younger, they used to tell us you dress for the position you want. So if I want to be a wife, I'm going to carry myself as a wife. I'm going to do the things that a wife does, but that does not mean that I'm doing all of those things as soon as the relationship starts. What I'm bringing is me to the table, and as we progress, things progress. You don't give everything up front, do you? In a relationship, you give trust as it's trust is earned. For some people, uh, trust is just blindly given for others. But as the relationship progresses, you learn whether you can trust your partner. You learn things that you can say to your partner. You learn how your partner is wired. So you start delivering things based on what you're learning about your partner.
Wow.
I mean, just my humble opinion, not Bible, but just my opinion. So
But
again,
that's that love language of consideration.
well, yeah, because I'm tired of having conversations with people who don't understand consideration and all they understand is entitlement. You are not entitled to anything in any relationship that you are a part of. Entitlement should never exist in a relationship.
But
What?
she was definitely clear that that's what, notice her words, that's what a man does. But
Yeah,
her mother is saying, but this is also what a woman does.
correct.
Question. Is that a clear indication that she's a female, but that don't make her a woman?
Woo, dang. I am. Mm,
Just like him being a male don't
doesn't
make
make
him
him
a
a man.
man.
Well, just because you birth a child don't make you a mother. Just because you contributed the sperm don't make you a dad or a father. Don't you have to have certain actions to be considered a father? Like taking care of your child or children? Same goes for a mother. How many women birth children but never took care of them? I'm just saying. Just because you female don't make you a woman or a mother. Just because you male don't make you a man or a father or a husband or a wife to this point. Just because you the gender don't mean you the adjective that goes with the gender. I'm just saying for this discussion. Everybody ain't a wife, just like everybody ain't a husband. Everybody's not a nurturer. And women are typically the ones who nurture. Everybody is not a protector. And men are the ones in traditional relationships that protect and provide.
Well, remember we talked about that. I told you that, and that what people have to realize is that women carry the voice of care and
Mm-hmm.
men carry the voice of justice. But if you grew up in a home where daddy wasn't there, daddy was maybe, even if it could have been a two-parent home, but maybe your daddy worked a lot. Maybe your daddy left all of the, because I grew up with a daddy that when you asked him something, he say, go ask your mama. And so when you have that type of dynamic and you grow up, for the woman, what she will do is unconsciously, the way that she has been wired, she has been wired with the voice of care being the prominent voice in the house. So she will attempt to mute her husband's voice of justice. And one of two things will happen. She will either successfully control him or make him leave. Now, with the man, it's different, because then that's where you get those men that feel like the woman can just do it all, because that's what he saw his mama do.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's gonna grow up and believe that a woman is supposed to cook his food and wash his clothes and pay the bills and take care. And he sits and masters the next level on, you know, on his PS5 or his Xbox or, you know, Call of Duty, and he you know, he can do it on upside down on his head now because he done mastered the level so well, but he have no other goals in life. But this is bigger than that. This is much deeper than that. This is us really, y'all. We have to really have this conversation, because this unrealistic expectation that just because we're dating means now you get to be entitled as a woman to everything a man has amassed prior to meeting you just because you're a woman is crazy. That he just owes it to you just off of GP. And there's nothing that you have to do to say, you know, and then even them, and then the same couple I talked about earlier, and one of the challenges was with theirs, he was like, and no matter what I do for her, she don't even say thank you. And she says, why should I? That's what you're supposed to do.
Because again, that goes back to consideration and not being selfish. And what I said earlier, that entitlement has no place in relationships. Who says that's what a man is supposed to do? Who said that is what a woman is supposed to do? I understand there's a different narrative when you're talking about modern relationships versus traditional relationships. But at the end of the day, when you are in a relationship with someone, the two of you have a meeting of the minds, and you come to an understanding of how your relationship works, how your household is going to work, how things will be done with respect to the two of you in whatever environment you're creating. My strength might not be cooking and cleaning. Your strength might not be protection and providing. So in a relationship, don't you balance each other out? So where one is weak, the other one is strong, and vice versa?
Yeah, that's true. But now I will say this now, as far as a man, now provision is, let me say this, is more than just money.
Mm-hmm.
Provision to me is infrastructure. It is establishment. And you don't have to make the greater money in the relationship for you to establish infrastructure.
That's
so
true.
I want to set that precedent that don't think that provision is monetarily like that's just it in a nutshell. It's about how much money you bring to the table. No, it's about infrastructure. But I will say this. Now, as far as protection is concerned, because I know a place, like I have a couple friend of mine, and if you go to their house, if like somebody knocks on the door, he'll send the wife to the door. Like I told him, that's crazy to me. Cause I'd be like, what? Excuse me, what you doing? Somebody knocked on the door. Exactly. What you going to the door for? Now, I just still believe that protection, that's just what it is. And I'm sorry, brothers, if you in a relationship where she got to protect you, please leave. Please leave. Go take a Mike Tyson training class or something, or go learn, kickboxing from Bruce Lee proteges. So I don't know what to tell you, but doggone it, if you in a relationship and she got to protect you, no. No, that ain't a good look. But I will just say, I think that provision is more than money. It's a lot more than money. So I don't want us to get hung up on that one thing so to the point that we miss everything that provision is supposed to be.
Well, but I'm glad you made that clear. Oh, I just misspelled the word. Oops. I'm glad you made that clear, but I'm
But you
talking
do need a job,
relation. Huh?
Negro. You need a job. I said, but that Negro do need a job, though.
You need a job.
You need a
Um,
job.
when I'm talking about provision, I'm talking about in the context of the video that we watched.
Got you. Okay, I'm with you.
Because I understand that provision is about way more than money. But then too, I have a different connotation of what relationships look like in the first place. So, because I think relationships really are partnerships. And I think when you decide to come to the table with someone, you are bringing forward your best efforts. You are bringing forward your authentic self. And then you decide together the environment that you are creating with your relationship and who y'all are. So, and I think that looks different for everybody. But at the end of the day, I think this whole thing about submission and entitlement and having unrealistic expectations of what people are bringing to the table and all you're doing is dating is asinine because you might not even end up with that person. So why should that person be giving you everything they got?
Wow.
Just food for thought. Because again, it didn't sound like they were dating with intention. It sounded like she just grabbed a hold to the first thing that was paying her bills. That's what it sounded like to me.
Well, remember the video that we watched about the woman that called her husband a simp
Yeah.
and and was literally sipping wine while she was talking about him. And the guy was like, "Did you just like call your husband?" And she was like, "Ooh, let me stop." And then he was like, "But no, you've already said it." And then so he was like, "So you didn't love him?" She's like, "No, I didn't love him. I needed somebody to take care of them kids."
Which is sad to me because I am a believer that when you are with your person and your person has kids, they are a part of the package. That's a package deal. You can't separate Patrick from his children. You can't separate Adrian from her daughter. You can't separate, you know, you can't separate that. That's part of the package because the kids make up part of the person your partner is. That's part of the package.
And then there's another thing too that I know this is not based on the video, but this is something that I see happen a lot, where a man gets into a relationship with a woman that has children, and the man has children as well, but the woman expects for him to deny his own children and provide for hers.
Again, unrealistic expectations. Because why is he gonna take care of your kids and not his? That don't even make sense. And then the reality is because of how he is with his kids, probably drew you to like him even more because then you started thinking about and daydreaming about how he was gonna be with your kids and any future kids that y'all have together. So again, unrealistic expectations and entitlement taking over and selfishness taking over in a relationship. Like I was told of a situation where the the person don't like the other person's child. Like, how is that even possible? How is this your person and you don't like their child? The child was there
Yeah,
before.
you see how I looked at? I'm like, who, where they do that at?
But I'm just saying, the child was there before you were. How do you have the audacity and unmitigated gall not to like a child? What did the child do to you? He was the father before he was your man. So again, in my purview, the baby is part of the package. The children are part of the package. So for a man, going back to this video, for a man to step up and he providing for you and taking care of you and your 3 kids with your multiple baby daddies, he accepted the entire package. And you couldn't do a simple thing like cook a meal? But he doing what a man's supposed to do. Well, as a woman, you supposed to be supportive of the man. And if the man is hungry, cook him a damn meal. If he providing and giving you money and taking care of your 3 kids.
But then remember the woman that then you got the other extreme that they won't even do it for their man, but will do it for like the woman that called her, guy and her husband, and there are men at the house, setting up, I guess it was delivery men, and they're installing the item that they were delivering, and she wants to go cook them a meal.
But you won't do that for your man.
Yeah, and he was like, you finna go do what? She like, these men over here working hard. I'm finna go cook them something. He said, I wish the hell you would. They're doing their job. That's their job. Their job is to deliver and to set up. Like, you ain't finna go cook them nothing. But that's what, oh, yes. And then watch this. Here's submission. Yes, I am. I'm gonna do. You ain't gonna tell me if I want to go cool that you gonna do what I go back and watch that video of the woman that wanted to cook some delivery men some food, and look how she spoke to her man in front of those men.
I just think we need to get back to common sense.
Because common sense ain't so common.
Common sense is not so common. I'm gonna suggest this for your consideration as we close out tonight. Submission it's a dance of trust and cooperation. Submission is not about controlling. Submission is not about competition. Submission is about both parties coming to the table. We both are sacrificing. We both are giving up something in the relationship. We both have mutual trust, admiration, cooperation for each other. We're not being selfish. So when you're out here in these dating streets, I'm going to ask you to consider, are you dating on purpose with intention, or are you just out here in these dating streets dating multiple people or just anybody who floats your boat?
Wow.
And if you are out here dating on purpose with intention, have you had the conversation about where this relationship is leading? And if you've had the conversation about where this relationship is leading and the relationship is leading to marriage, I would submit to you that submission will come naturally if the relationship is progressing. But remember, submission is not about control. Submission is not about being demanding. Submission is not about being demeaning. Submission is not about not being trusted and trustworthy. It's a mutual dance of trust and cooperation between the parties in the relationship. Pat?
The sad reality is that just because you are grown, and I'm going to say it this way, it doesn't make you an adult.
Mm.
And in many instances, people's bodies grow up,
But their
their
mind.
mind don't. Watch this. I would that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. What that means is that I want you not only to be healthy financially, I want you to be healthy physically, but as your soul prospers, I want you to be healthy mentally. Because what good would it do me to have a grown body and grown money and a child's mind?
Mm.
Because both of them would be to me are toys. Because grown people don't play with toys.
Mm-mm.
They collect things. Children play with toys. And once they break them, they discard them. And for some of you who have been broken and thrown to the side, that is an indicator that you were dealing with a child.
That's it. That's all. Stop being entitled in these relationships. Relationships have no place for entitlement. Stop being selfish and do yourselves a favor and stop rushing submission and
That's
stop
real.
rushing the relationship to go somewhere where it's not even time for it to go. Let it develop.
Hello, and thank you.
Peace.
Peace.